Quad City Sports Talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, Jaybird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
Well, it's Tuesday here in the Hassle Castle. We have a packed house. We have a new natty, new national champion.
I mean, is it new?
Well, it wasn't the same one last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Anywho, we got Sam in studio from
Big Grove.
One
of our favorite breweries.
It's been a while.
Yeah. It has been a while.
COVID.
I know.
But yeah, the first thing on the docket will be the national title game last night, and I don't know how many. It's Alabama's 18th title. Nick Saban's 7th. He won 1 at LSU and 6 at Alabama. Ohio State won 52-24, and we can break all that down a little bit later. But Sam, thanks for coming in studio, man.
Yeah, new year, new beer.
I know. I'm glad to have you.
Look at it, he's rhyming.
I got all sorts of stuff today. Yeah.
So, what is the new beer?
This week we're dropping our Apocalypse. This is volume 5. So what we do every year is come out with a mixed 4-pack, and basically it's 2 cans each of 2 different beers. This year it happens to be a West Coast double IPA and an East Coast double IPA.
Dude, rap battles.
So a little, yeah. We did some brewery battles, so we put some of the guys from the brewery on the can as little 8-bit characters.
All right.
They finally get some credit for doing all the hard work back there. So a lot of fun.
Wow.
That's really cool that you guys are doing that. And then what do you have there?
Oh, this is what the beers are.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll dip into those at some point.
They look like dudes from RBI baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he said there. 8-bit characters.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah. And then when I texted you last time I was up in Iowa City, I was going to head over to the brewery and get on premise Color TV, but they're out. They were, but you guys are starting to work on something else, right?
Well, we'll have Color TV coming down the line again on March 12th.
Okay.
So not that long away.
Well, you're definitely going to have to come in when that comes out.
I'll bring some Color TV by. And then we worked on a new beer that just sold out super quick called HD TV, which was kind of a souped up version. A little higher ABV and a lot of fun.
It's not dirty enough.
Oh, dang it. I'm trying to be like Jay. Dang on it. I'm gonna keep it on like Jay though the rest of the show.
Looks good.
Thanks.
Don't act like you don't wear your hat on backwards.
I know, but I don't wear a snapback usually.
It kind of
You're a
accentuates your
snapback.
5 head though.
Wow.
I don't. Yeah.
Actually, I told Amy the other day it's more
It's
like
nice.
a 7 head.
I brought in some gear. I'm wearing my Big Grove.
Thanks for saying that.
I wear this every time I go to Iowa City. Because you're not really, when you go to the cover the games for press, you don't really want to wear like Iowa gear.
Right.
So all my other pullovers, quarter length, quarter zip down pullovers are usually Iowa stuff. So I always wear this. So.
We actually got a shout out from Fran McCaffrey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was on like the Big Ten podcast with what's Mike? He's the studio host.
Mike Hall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was on that, and Mike asked him, hey, what do you like to do outside of basketball? And he's like, well, we keep to ourselves mostly, but we do like to go to Big Grove, and eat there. So that's it's pretty neat when the head basketball coach is calling you out.
Yeah, Mike Hall. This would have probably been like 16 years ago. No, probably more than that. 16 to 18 years ago. ESPN would have this. They had this game show.
Yeah.
And it was you were basically getting a spot to be a host, right? An anchor for ESPN. And Mike was the one that won it.
Yep.
And now he's on Big Ten Network. So, yeah, I remember that one. I remember that show. I really enjoyed it. So it's always good to see that it came to fruition for him after winning that show. So, yeah, Mike does a good job, and that's awesome that Fran did that for you guys.
But
Absolutely.
so how much is this? How much traveling are you doing? Because before we would see you real often.
Yeah, I've definitely cut it back. I'll be starting to get back out there hopefully more in the spring once the warmer weather. But been keeping around Iowa City quite a bit. So used to be over here probably once a week. Now it's more like once a month maybe. So doing a lot more business by phone and things like that.
And I'm sure, of course, you like to get out to the accounts, the bars, but I'm pretty sure the Hy-Vees have been keeping you busy, though.
Well, that's one reason we're lucky is because the tap room has been hit quite a bit as well. It's just not as much business, being shut down in April and all that. So we're lucky to have the ability to sell our beer in Hy-Vees and Fairways and Independence and all that to really keep us going.
Well, we've been trying to support you at Pints and Oscars for
Appreciate
sure.
that,
I know we've made a concerted effort to really have more Iowa beers on tap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you guys always have at least one permanent handle.
Yeah, we
I
appreciate
think
that.
Birch the Bear's been rocking it at Oscars, and right
Easy
now Easy Eddie is at Pints.
Easy Eddie, man, it's
so good.
that beer is just crazy good. Yeah,
It's a horse. Yeah, and then we did even more of like a can lineup for you guys. So
yeah.
I know we went through the color TV fast. Someone
Yeah.
named Jay might have drank it all, but that's fine.
He's a regular.
But yeah, there was a couple ones in there. Didn't you guys do something? Had like a Star Wars looking logo on it.
Starla. Yeah, that was a hazy pale ale. Yep.
Yeah, so we still have a little bit of that left.
Nice.
And there was something else. It's hard to remember everything.
We have
had a
some-
sour.
Well,
that's the thing
We had a
is-
sour too.
Sometimes it's almost hard for me to remember because
There's so many.
I had someone come up to me about a month ago and say like, "Hey man, you guys had a double IPA a couple months ago that came out. What was that?" And I'm like, "I'll be honest, man. It could be any number of 10 different beers that
Right.
we've done." So, but credit to the brewers, they always knock it out of the park. And I mean, it makes my job so easy when I really can't think of one bad beer that they've made because they don't. If they were to make one, they don't let it get out. So
No.
they would just
Right.
dump it, which is credit to them.
We have some comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread about the cranberry plum swirl sour.
Yeah,
Oh my god. I literally couldn't make the 4 tall boys last more than 3 days, maybe. It's so good.
Why? What do you mean you couldn't make it last? You drank it all?
Yes.
well, I'll just go ahead and leave this
God.
4-pack behind.
Oh, she can't have it all.
Are you kidding?
That's fantastic.
It is literally my favorite beer Big Ralph has ever come out with. I'm going to go ahead and just say that. It was literally the best beer and sour I've ever had.
So literally?
Literally.
Literally?
People are logging off so fast.
Well,
Literally.
Literally.
we're excited to have you in studio,
Yeah.
and thank you for the gear and
Oh, the
bringing
hat.
beer and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fussing with this hat the rest of the day.
Your Kansas City Chiefs got the #1 seed in the AFC.
They did.
So they have Cleveland coming into town this weekend.
You know what? I got a prediction.
What's that?
Pain.
Yeah. What side are you on?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for Cleveland's gonna be feeling some pain.
Yeah.
Sorry, Browns fans.
You always got to worry though when everyone is going, okay, it's going to be the Chiefs by a mile. That's when you do kind of start to get worried that,
Well, I
never
mean,
know.
the Browns do have some weapons. They're not a pushover, but
if they're missing
I'd be
those offensive
very-
linemen
yeah.
too, then it'll be a lot
I'd be
harder.
very surprised that the Chiefs lose that game.
Well, where are we at now on this? Are we at 8 weeks or 7 straight weeks that the Chiefs have only won by 7 or less points?
7.
That spread's pretty high.
7 straight weeks.
7 straight weeks. Okay. Yeah.
The spread was
If you
10.
don't count, if you don't count week 17 or whatever.
Well,
Oh, you got to count it.
yeah, because the spread was still there. Yeah. So let's take a look at the game last night. The national championship game, that is. Where to start with this? Devontae Smith?
Yeah, you had it. I'll tell you what. The only thing that was even close to being as impressive as him was Najee Harris.
Mac Jones?
I'm just saying. Did you see some of the moves Najee Harris was putting on?
Yes.
Insane. The kid is going to be a stud. He's 6'2", 230, and he's got moves like that.
Like Jagger.
Way better than Jagger.
So
the kid's gonna be an NFL star, and if that's not the first running back off the board, then people in the NFL are idiots.
yeah, he had 158 total yards and 3 touchdowns.
That was against NFL quality defensive players. I mean, those two linebackers for Ohio State, they're going up pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really good.
Don't try to put their linebacker on Devontae Smith.
Well, that kid, yeah, but those other two guys, the edge linebackers, were just studs.
Like I mentioned, Nick Saban won a 7th title, moving him past Paul Bear Bryant for the most ever. Devontae Smith had 12 catches for 215 yards and 3 TDs, all in the first half. He dislocated his finger early in the third quarter. Alabama outscored 11 SEC teams and their 2 playoff opponents by an average margin of 49-19. I'm not done there. The average points per game is the most in SEC history. Devontae Smith had 3,965 career receiving yards, most in SEC history. Devontae Smith had 1,856 receiving yards, the most in SEC history. 23 receiving touchdowns by Smith, the most in SEC history. 12 receptions in the game, most in BCS College Football Championship game.
He was 12 for 14.
Yep.
12 receptions on 14 targets.
His 3
2 were drops, just like he should have had.
3 touchdowns in the game, tied the most for the championship game. Mac Jones, 77.4% career completion percentage, highest in the FBS history. 464 yards in a game, most in a BCS College Football Playoff game. 5 touchdowns in a game, tied for the most. And Najee Harris, 57 career touchdowns scored, tied most in SEC history. 30 touchdowns in the season, most in SEC history. That's disgusting.
Yeah, a lot of guys from that team are going to be good NFL
We were
stars.
yesterday. I thought I was all about Bama, but now I'm kind of leaning. Maybe I'd take the points here. That's what I was saying yesterday, and it was. I mean, it
Remember,
would.
I said take the points, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I looked really dumb.
But without that fumble by Mac Jones at about the Ohio State.
Was that Browning
26?
that caused the
Yes.
linebacker Browning? That
Yeah.
kid's really good. And who's 41? The other linebacker, Hilliard, I
I
believe.
don't know.
It's Browning and Hill. I think it's Hilliard or Illiard. If I'm wrong, someone tell me on the Heritage Pub Facebook comments. But those two were hard hitting studs. The running back,
Teague.
Master Teague.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be good at the next level.
Well, they lost Sermon within the
Yeah.
first play, which he was the one that came in really doing all the running for Ohio State. Fields did not have a very good night, and it hurt his draft stock. It had to have.
It totally did. He fell from number 2 or 3 on draft predictions and my thing. He's already down. Micah Parsons is up to the 3rd. He dropped considerably. And listen, and rightfully so. He was going up against guys that are going to be playing at the next level, whether it was defensive linemen, cornerbacks, safeties, or whatever else. I'm just saying, but the pressure was there. That's the kind of pressure he's going to see in the NFL. That's the kind of speed he's going to see in the NFL.
But we said yesterday, Alabama had 6 players in Todd McShay's top 50. Ohio State had 5. So they've got guys that are going to be drafted, just as many guys that they're going to be drafted in the first 2 rounds.
Top 50. I mean,
2 rounds, first 2 rounds.
But of the 6, Alabama's 6 are all in the top 20.
Yeah, she probably threw it away.
I got it. I got not ESPN's. I have because I had to pay money to get my shades. But CBS let it out for free. If you're ready for this, okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to go top 25. How many Bama players are in the top 25? You ready?
Yep.
Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, another receiver.
Okay. Patrick Surtain.
Yep. Another receiver.
Okay. Mac Jones.
Okay.
That's 4 in the top.
That's 4 in the top 25.
Top 25. Just outside the top 25 at 27, Christian Barmore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then right at 38, Deontay Brown.
Okay. Now,
wait, I might have missed somebody. Hold on.
Sorry. I want to talk about 2 things before we go to our first break.
No, I did not.
And they both have to do with hits and whatnot and scary moments. One being at the national championship game, one being local. Okay.
Okay.
The first thing was that tight end from Ohio State. Rickert. I believe it's Rickert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great one-handed catch, by the way.
But that hit that he took.
Yeah.
That was scary. And they didn't take him out of the game. I mean, that was helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying number 9 did it on purpose. I'm not at all.
No, I don't think he did. I think it comes with the game sometimes. I mean, you're trying
He
to...
led with the crown of his head. Just lift your helmet up a little bit. But I'm talking about the tight end.
The guy was taller than him. He was coming down. He was going in to make a tackle.
I mean, I'm texting my buddies, and we're like, he's not getting up, right? And he laid there for a little bit. They never took him out of the game. He was in on the next one. I kept my eyes on him for the next... till I think they got it, ended up in the end zone or whatever else, or till the end of their series. I kept my eyes on him. The very first one, he stumbled on his feet on the next block. But then he, was in and caught, a pass after that. He was fine. There was one play where I watched him. I'm like, he's stumbling. They got to get him out of there. And then after that, he was in the rest of the time.
When they slowed that down and you saw a helmet under the tight end, it was on the chin, on the neck. I mean, yeah, I was shocked that he didn't come out of the game.
Okay, let me
He's just saying he did not. He rolled right over. That's not true. He didn't get up and bounce up and talk to.
Let me be devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Okay. We watch boxing and UFC, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys take shots to the chin a lot in those sports and get knocked down, and quote unquote close to being knocked out.
Yeah.
Get up, 10 count. Okay.
I'm not blaming anyone.
And they continue fighting.
I was more amazed at.
But I'm saying is, I understand the risk of all of it, but it's not good in one sport to do it, but in another one we just don't even bat an eye.
Okay, you're talking about professionals,
and the
one
sport
take them out of the game.
But in the one sport I'm talking about, you don't take a guy out of the boxing match just because he got knocked down once.
Sometimes it's up to the referee. Or you
okay,
can throw in the towel. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is, all right,
I get it.
It's a national title game.
I get it, but
you think that kid wanted to come out of that game?
I don't.
For $1 million.
I don't even think he was offered a chance. So
well, I mean, I see your point. I'm being devil's advocate.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that concussion protocol should be ignored or anything like that. But
well, and then that being said, and I don't think that kid did it on purpose. I mean, obviously he was shooken up afterwards. He had tears in his eyes that he had to leave that game. And I thought you had to leave the entire game, because you always see kids run to the tunnel.
The kid that got ejected for Clemson. He actually just went in, took his pads off, came back with his jersey.
They changed that last year. A coach will take the helmet away, and you can stay on the sideline and watch the game.
Yeah, the other kid took his pads off, but he had his jersey and everything on. So
and the other one, I think this is kind of glossed over because locally we don't have fans in the stands, okay? And the only real Division I talent we have playing basketball right now is Marion Ellis from Assumption, right? He's signed with Texas.
Right.
Talented kid, and used to play at Central. He had a game the other night, I think it was Friday, and it's the video isn't the best quality, so it's whatever, but you can clearly see as he's going for a breakaway for a layup, the Davenport Central kid does not go up to block the shot. His feet stay on the ground as Amarion goes up for the layup. And then you can see the kid shoving him. And they do get an intentional foul. My problem is this. One, he broke his wrist. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. Division I kid, Assumption's number 4 in the state in their class. Amarion went to Central last year and transferred to Assumption. This was pre-planned.
Yeah, you're getting reports on.
I'm seeing texts that Central players that it was chippy. And if you read the Quad City Times, whoever wrote it, and if it was Koss, I can talk to him about it. But they said they did call an intentional foul, and they said the game did get rough at sometimes. Now Marion still played, good for him. But I'm going to try my best to get the video up and running, put something out there on ESPN 1170 AM. You guys make the call. But that situation, I know maybe the referees don't know any better. I don't know. And we would know more because if there were more fans in the stands, we would be able to see how the reaction of the coaches were. But the kid really, really should be taken out and should be suspended for some games.
Yeah. And
I don't know what they're doing with that, and I'll follow up or whatever else. But that's the type of thing you can't have that. You have to coach away from that type of bad sportsmanship, because the text says that the Central players were going to do something, that they knew all along that something was going to happen. And when the kid doesn't go up at all to block the shot, and his feet are still on the ground and shoves him down, and basically could have taken a career away from a kid who's going D1. I mean, going places. He'll be in Austin next year.
Right.
And so, I mean, such like that, we need to.
Is it Shaka Smart down there still?
I don't know who's down there at Texas. That's a good call, though. So, yeah, and so I hope people are looking into it, and I hope maybe the MAC, whoever's in charge of running the athletic directors, is coming down on it. But I haven't heard a huge outcry. I saw the video. I saw the video without anyone saying to me ahead of time, this looks deliberate. I saw it and said, holy crap, this is deliberate. Like, no one said ahead of time. All I knew was that he broke his wrist. So I was just kind of like, well, let me see the video. That's cool. You know, I feel bad for the kid is what I said. And actually what I said after that was, well, he'll be back for the postseason so they can make a run in March Madness. That's good. If he's going to get hurt, he'll be okay. And now I look at that and I'm like, this is incredible. That just an intentional foul. That kid should have been thrown out of the game.
Right.
And people need to look into it. But again, I just wanted to bring that to light because of the way that it is that we're not at a lot of games anymore, and parents, even though they're opening it up, we're missing a lot of our local stuff, and we need to get back into covering the good stuff, not just the bad stuff. About Assumption being number 4, North Scott's good, and we need to get into back into our wrestling swing. So we're gonna get Cost back in the building soon, as soon as we can. But we have to take our first break of the hour, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about the Natty, and we'll hang out with Sam.
Yeah,
and Doug Peterson too.
We're gonna drink beer.
Sure, I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, T-Roy.
Hey, Coral.
Stop going to your favorite social media sites asking for suggestions on where to get your oil changed, who does the best tattoo work, or the best place for lunch in the Quad Cities.
Well, what am I supposed to do then?
You can pick up a Locals Love Us guide. It's a great little pamphlet, easy to navigate with a table of contents to help you find out whatever you're looking for. Or
I've seen those things.
Have you?
Yeah.
All around the Quad City area?
Yep.
Yep, they're everywhere. Or if you're like me and you do everything on your phone, you can go to their website at localsloveus.com, click on Quad Cities, and then browse favorites. It's super easy to use, and they even rank the most popular places for you, T-Roy.
That really sounds easy, Coral.
I know, right? Locals love us.
You're your guide to the best.
T-Roy,
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody! You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
I'm Kyle Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. 3 years ago, Doug Peterson led the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl title. Now he's out of a job. Philadelphia fired their head coach Monday after 5 seasons with the team. In a statement, Peterson said while he's disappointed, it was an honor to coach the Eagles. Former Falcons head coach Dan Quinn has a new gig. He agreed to a 3-year deal Monday to become the new defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Some other coaching news: Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith interviewed for the Falcons and Jets head coaching jobs. The Jets also interviewed Saints defensive backs coach Aaron Glenn, while the Lions met with Saints assistant head coach Dan Campbell. And we could have history on Saturday. The Packers signed offensive lineman Jared Veldheer just 2 days after he started for the Colts and their playoff loss to Buffalo. As a result, Veldheer could be the first NFL player to ever play for 2 different teams in the same postseason. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Hindsight is 2020. 2020 was a brutal year with a lot we couldn't control. Pandemic, economy, unemployment. What can we control? Our job, our career. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? Yes. It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real-life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps
helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. That's babbel.com, BABBEL.com.
Listen up, football fans. I've got the perfect way to make the playoffs even more exciting this weekend. It's called a same-game parlay bet, and they're only available on FanDuel Sportsbook. A same-game parlay bet lets you combine multiple bets from a single game for an even bigger win during the second round. You can combine the money line, the over-under, and player props all in one parlay. And best of all, FanDuel is letting you protect your parlay. That's right. You can place a 3+ same-game parlay and get up to $25 back if you fall one leg short with same-game parlay insurance. The playoffs are a perfect time to give one a shot. It's just one of the many ways to win on FanDuel. Fast withdrawals when you win. FanDuel pays your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Product features, multi-game parlay, and same-game parlay ops so you can get a massive payout on a small bet. If you haven't already, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up to get started. And use my promo code Trevor at sign-up. That's promo code Trevor at sign-up. If you're a current customer, then you're all set. Go check out same-game parlays only available on FanDuel Sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
And here's the crazy thing, Lakers fans. AD needed championships. Chips, plural, to start entering the greatest power forward ever conversation. Because he's got the skills, right? But Tim Duncan did too, and Tim Duncan's got 5 chips. Well, AD's got 1 now. How many does he need to win with the Lakers before he starts entering that conversation? Who's the greatest power forward of all time?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Get out of the house and enjoy beautiful ice sculptures at Ice-Travaganza, January 15th through 17th in downtown Davenport. Stroll by the sculptures on the boardwalk at the Freight House, or you can view these amazing works of art from your vehicle in the parking lot. Sculptures are on display Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the best time to see them is when they're lit from dusk till 10 o'clock each night. See live ice carving demonstrations in person or on Facebook Live. The Family Credit Union's warming station will provide free hot chocolate by the fire pit at the Farmers Market patio each night from 5 to 6. A shout out to our additional sponsors, Van Horn Auto Group, Front Street Tap Room, Mid-American Energy Company, Metronet, and this station. Please keep this outdoor event fun and safe by social distancing and wearing a mask. What a great way to get out of the house and celebrate winter. Come see the amazing ice sculptures at Ice-Travaganza, presented by the Downtown Davenport Partnership, January 15th through the 17th.
No blown out ACLs here, but maybe some strained vocal cords, though. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, welcome back. This is Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on AM 1170. Coral's hair changed during the break, everyone.
I had to change it up. Everyone always requests it in the DMs.
We all got new hats on.
Everyone got their new gear. Yeah, where's your new
Yeah,
hat?
it's just it doesn't match my outfit.
Oh boy. Well, let me see it. It was cream color.
It's cute. Yeah, well, I'm attached to my headphones right now.
Okay. Anyway, we're pouring
Maybe
some
I'll
beer.
try it next commercial break.
I have something. Can I say what I'm drinking?
Yeah, that's Headliner. Yep.
Yeah, Headliner. It's a house beer for
the MediaCom Extreme Arena. So they just technically opened in October, I believe. Had a wrestling event down there. Events are definitely on the back burner, but really, really cool. Iowa River Landing is where the Extreme Arena is, down by 30 Hop and Marriott Hotel there. Going to be an awesome place for events. I believe Iowa Volleyball. That's going to be their home arena. And then you might even see a hockey team in there. That's right. So should be pretty fun.
I don't think I should drink it.
Yeah, that was in your cup already.
Yeah, you think?
It was. I saw it.
Well, why did you let me pour my drink in there then?
Because I didn't think you were going to use it.
What happened?
I got like 4 more of those beers there, Troy. So you want a new one?
No, I'll just try.
Troy had something yucky in his cup, and then he poured the beer in it.
Sorry about that. taxes.
It was like I don't know.
I like that. That's a really good IPA.
Yeah.
This one right here is the
Hot Apocalypse.
That is the West Coast. Baron Von Tax. So if you flip that can around, you'll see our brewery operations manager, Josh,
Oh, let me see.
affectionately known as Rabbit by us.
Rabbit?
Yeah.
Like
so
B-Rabbit?
He's been with the brewery for, I want to say, 6 years. And he does inventory and ordering and pays the taxes for the brewery. So
that's important.
He is now known as Baron Von Tax. And then the other can in that 4-pack is called Knockout and Crash, which are our two lead brewers, Lincoln and Matt Berkey. Lincoln Hackert.
Oh.
No, Lincoln Hackert and Matt Berkey. So,
Lincoln looks like a brewer.
Let me guess, he's got a beard.
Yeah.
His story is pretty crazy. He spent, I want to say, 2 years in Australia brewing, and actually won best beer there of Australia. So I told him he's only got 6 more continents to go.
Can you tell me the difference between a knife and not a knife?
Yeah, that's
I don't understand that reference.
Oh, it's from what is it?
It's a
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh,
that's
sure.
Not a knife.
Okay. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's what Australians like to do, to point out things.
Yeah. Knife, not a knife, knife.
Microphone, not a knife. Not a knife.
I love this description on the back. So they have a couple beers at 8 a.m. What could go wrong?
Well,
it's 12:31.
Sounds like my kind of job.
I always say it's 12 o'clock somewhere.
Honestly, 12 noon feels
this
like 5.
This is great beer, man. I'm really enjoying this Golden Ale.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying this IPA. Not gonna lie.
You're not gonna lie.
And
well,
you
thank
have
you for not
West
lying.
not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I would never lie to you, Troy.
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
And I'm pretty picky about IPAs.
So yesterday, about this time, maybe it was more in the second hour, we got word that the Eagles and Doug Peterson are splitting, going different directions. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
They're trying to say he wanted out.
Well, he got upset because they wouldn't promote the quarterback's coach up to the offensive coordinator. So he started seeing that the upper management and him were not seeing eye to eye. That's what I'm reading from CBSSports.com. That
so
he grew frustrated with front office.
So he started tanking on purpose?
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know.
Really?
So he voices frustration plenty of times with the front office meddling with his head coaching decisions. And then, so yeah, maybe he did do it on purpose.
Well, what do you think? What do you think happens to Carson Wentz? What are they saying?
That's a great question. Well, who's going to? I was thinking about that too. Who's going to take on his contract? How much are they going to have to eat?
They're going to keep Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah, but we'll come back and talk to that. I got a surprise.
Are we calling somebody?
We got a phone call?
Do you have a surprise?
Yeah.
Is it a surprise for me or is it a surprise for
Sam? For all of us.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not a surprise to me though.
So for you three.
I know it's not a surprise for you, Jay. You're the one.
You're
the one doing the surprise.
Frank Yanker's here.
You feel like he's Jim Neighbors. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
That is
Gomer,
such a dated reference.
Yep. Well, sometimes we got to show our age, Jay. Mm-hmm. Well, I just can't walk around here TikToking all the time.
Why not?
I spent a lot of time on TikTok yesterday too.
My screen time is.
It's poisonous.
It is.
Get off of it.
No.
Yes.
I'm famous.
You're infamous.
Hello.
Emily.
Hi, guys.
MLM.
You made me look really stupid, Emily.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I think you do that on your own.
Got him.
I still love you. That's fine. You don't have to be so mean about it.
Sorry, I'm feeling pretty good today.
Yeah, you pretty much everything you said last week came to fruition. That is, I mean, as it played out, I'm like, God, she's just so smart, and I'm just gonna listen to everything she says from now on. I'm gonna steal and use as my own take. That way, no one will know. Yeah.
I don't recommend that, but this one I just felt, honestly, like I had this feeling when I watched them play against Florida in that game. This is the best Alabama team, the best college football team I had seen all year. In all of my games I went to, it was the most cohesive team, and I think it's one of the Saban's best, despite the fact that he had to piece it together. But it just shows you what good coaching really does in a season where you're searching for that edge. So it was cool to see it come together. And I told you, Justin Fields, man, he just can't do it in the big games. I've seen him stumble against Clemson.
I know that's what you said. I'm telling you, everything you said was right. But yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean, you think about this Bama team, and we had that LSU team from last year, which was so dominant offensively, and then it's like all of a sudden you basically had a repeat of that with another team out of the SEC, obviously, but insane, right? Just back-to-back years of that sort of perfection, if you will.
That's actually a really good point, and I hadn't thought of that. It is very similar to the LSU team that they put together. It's kind of one of those, just it worked out, like obviously you line it up that way, and I think both coaches, both Ed Orgeron at LSU and Saban this year did that. They planned it out, but you can't plan for Waddle going down, and then all of a sudden you've got Devontae Smith there, and he really just stepped up. I mean, what an incredible human being. Oh my gosh. Specimen there. He's one of the best players I've ever seen. And they couldn't stop him. And going into the game, Ohio State, people were not talking enough about the fact that their secondary was not great. People were completing 63.8% of their passes against that secondary, and they were ranked 116th nationally in their pass defense, giving up 280 yards per game. So then you add an Alabama team that's averaging, X amount of points per game, and they just coming off that Florida win with all those points and yards. How was that ever going to go well for Ohio State? That was my question. Like, who was saying that they had a chance?
Well, I was, but that's fine. We don't have to bring it up again.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so, getting back to something else that was very interesting. Yeah. When you listen to Herb Street kind of doing the announcing, and he said to all the young receivers out there watching Jalen Smith right now, or Devontae Smith, sorry. Getting my names mixed up. But look at how he's doing this. Every time he's scoring, he's not celebrating. He's not pointing at himself. He's getting the ball back. He's pointing at his quarterback. It's all about business, and that's what he's up to. Serious. And I was like, wow. I mean, he made the point to point it out, and I'm like, he's absolutely right. This kid acts like he's there before.
We have a question for you, Emily, from the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread.
This is from Ezer Azim. He wants to know, will Sarkisian be able to run that sort of offense at Texas and with all that misdirection and fakes? And I'll let you hammer this down. I think he's going to need Devontae Smith to do that, but maybe he has one there. I don't know.
I've been hoping someone would ask me about Steve Sarkisian because I actually know the guy a little bit. I covered him when he was at USC. I sat in his head coach's office there and talked with him across, on the couches, and I watched the entire – people don't talk about it anymore, but he imploded. I mean, he had a very serious problem with drinking, during practices, games, and whatnot, and he had one of the biggest falls that I've ever seen. Yes, he did go to rehab, and he did work very hard to overcome those struggles. And then, Nick Saban wouldn't take a chance on a guy unless he was serious and committed and had a lot of talent. So clearly we see this rise from the ashes, situation. But I'm not 100% convinced that he is ready to take the helm of such a big program. And I'll say especially at Texas, because Texas is the kind of place where you have to win immediately or you're going to be voted off the island by the boosters. I mean, they control so much of that program, and they give so little time to turn it into a winning situation. So you look at the past coaches, Charlie Strong, Herman. Herman was a well-loved coach by the players, but because he didn't turn it around the way that the school and the boosters wanted, he's out the door. So do I think this is a great situation for Sarkisian? No. I think it's a lot of pressure, could lead to, bad habits coming back up. Who knows? It's not going to be mirrored the same Alabama offense that you see because he's not going to have the same tools. But it is Texas, so it'll be maybe the closest situation he could get outside of the SEC because football's so important there and recruiting such a big deal. So I think it's a dangerous, I don't want to say gamble, but it's a dangerous move. And if he's really ready for it and if things are on the straight and narrow for him, then it's going to go well. But if there's any of that old temptation coming back in, pressure and all that, I have just a bad feeling about it,
Interesting. Very, very interesting insight.
Yeah.
Let's stay right where we're at about the OCs and coaches. The hiring of Bill O'Brien to be the OC at Alabama.
Yeah, that is I'm a proponent of bringing, NFL guys into college. I know a lot of people don't really like it, and they don't think that maybe it'll translate. And granted, he wasn't, a coach per se, but I like it. Like when Herm Edwards came to ASU, that I thought I was not a fan. I was like, this isn't real. He's not going to understand the culture, especially at a school like that where he's kind of older. But I went out there and watched when they beat Michigan State that first year, the first game of the season, and the way that he ran it, it was something the kids needed. The discipline and Saban runs his program like an NFL. I mean, that team last night looks like an NFL team. That's as close as you're going to get in college. So I think it's a good situation. I think people are skeptical because of his, history, and he hasn't always panned out with him in certain places. But the thing about Alabama hiring, if Saban's hiring you, there's a reason, and he sees it and we don't, and he knows what he's doing. So whatever Saban decides, we should all just fall in line, to be honest.
It's fair. I mean, 7 titles, it's pretty good. So, well, I guess yeah. And the Herm Edwards one, to your point there, he brought a different type of atmosphere to the type of coaching that you don't really see in college. Herm said he was going to treat it more like he was a GM and let the offensive coordinator coach the offense and let the defensive coordinator coach the defense. And then from there, it's a trickle down. It's just basically he's at the top of the pyramid. So he had a different way of doing things. And like you're saying, Saban, I mean, he was under Belichick at Cleveland when the last time Cleveland went to the playoffs in '94. So as Saban has, we also know Belichick is the best coach in NFL history. So yeah, it's their approach. And of course, if he's hiring you for a reason. Look at Sarkisian. Is this true? Did they say this last night that this is the first time Texas has hired an assistant coach, not a head coach, a move in 70 years?
I had not read that, but that would not surprise me.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you're a position coach at Alabama, I think you're on like a different level. Like if you're an OC there, then you could be considered a head coach anywhere. It doesn't surprise me, especially because Texas is always chasing, that Tide glory, and they want it. So why not try and mimic it with the guy who's been learning from him and doing so well? Like I said, I've seen him in his roles at Washington and USC. I saw him during the bad times. Haven't really known him during the good, so I got to give him that chance. But there was a lot of behavior, aside from the drinking and other stuff that wasn't always above board. And maybe he was enabled in those programs, but I have to hope that there's some Saban gave him some discipline, and probably, I don't want to say scared him straight, but like kept him in line. And I hope that at Texas, there's maybe some people doing that because, sometimes these head coaching jobs, especially big programs, can go to the ego and the head of the coach, and then they kind of feel untouchable. So I'm just hoping that he remembers, how far he came and takes that to heart. So we'll see.
Emily, I got a question for you about running backs. So the last 2 games are going to be what my question comes from. So the Ohio State defense against Clemson's Travis, is it Etienne? Etienne. Okay, yeah, it's hard to figure out which way. And then obviously their defense up against Najee Harris. Most of the experts have Etienne ranked higher than Najee Harris, but my eyeballs tell me Najee Harris is a can't miss. I mean, what's your thoughts and what do you think between the two?
That's a good question. I've covered the thing. I'm a little biased. I'll say this because Najee Harris is from the Bay Area. He's very beloved out here. So we've been watching him since high school, and we always knew he was going to be something special. Both guys are really quiet. They're quiet, confident guys, and they're actually very similar personality-wise. Travis can be goofy when he opens up, but they're both about business. But the reason that you might see he can be more of a player is because he was utilized more by Clemson, and that he had to do more for the team than Najee Harris, because you look at Alabama and you look at all the weapons they have, from Mac Jones to Devontae Harris to an incredible offensive line. They had all these things, so they didn't have to rely heavily on Devontae. So but he made himself a star there, so you were able to pay attention. But Etienne was important to the Clemson game when Trevor Lawrence was struggling. Travis would run the ball, so I think we saw more from him. And then you look at the quality of teams they played, and those teams run game defense, probably not as strong as some of the teams in the SEC, though I would have to stack that up to see for sure. I think Najee Harris is going to have a longer career in the NFL. I think he's built more like an NFL back, and he has more flexibility in what he can do. And ETN, the one thing I think that kind of red flags me is his ball security. There's definitely times where he's fumbled the ball. I think he had 4 this year, one against Boston College that was actually returned for a 97-yard touchdown. I remember that because it was just, not great. So I think there's little things like that set Harris apart. But they're both great, but I do think Najee's going to go higher than ETN.
I think so too.
I've got
Okay, well, you're just saying that because I said that.
I told you I was going to copy you. I told you what I was going to do. I laid out my playbook.
I was like, wait a minute, you didn't phrase the question that way. Wait a minute,
Emily. There's now 7 openings in the NFL for head coaching positions. There's always
Which one you taking?
There's always a good shot, probably, that maybe someone from college moves up, if not 2. That being said, what are some of the names in college as head coaches right now that you know of that are going to be the next guy to take over a program? So let's just say Fitzgerald leaves Northwestern, and because, the AD left in Northwestern, and he's been close with him, and maybe like the Lions take a flyer on him. Let's just say Northwestern job or something else opens up in the Power 5. What's a coaching a name that we should be put on our radar? What's a few of them?
That's a really good question. You asked me which one I would take. I'm curious now to think about that. I kind of like. I don't know. There's been so many coaching changes in college. I didn't think there'd be this many with the COVID year. Because how do you fire a guy or let a guy go, based on X amount of games and struggling to keep players healthy and on the field? That to me seems very harsh. But we definitely saw. I think the most shocking one was Marshall.
Okay.
Doc Holliday just getting the boot, and apparently that was going on for a while. So I had no idea. I like Matt Campbell, Iowa State head coach, maybe going in there.
Yeah.
He's been in the NFL prior, and he's got that experience with it. So I don't know about Pat Fitzgerald. He took Northwestern to a place this year that honestly was the most shocking thing about this season, because I went to a Northwestern game last year, to the Iowa game, remember? And Iowa shut them out. No points were scored by Northwestern.
Well,
so how do you do that turnaround and then leave?
Well, you had a quarterback transferring from Indiana and Patrick Ramsey. But at this time, if you don't have your AD anymore, that you guys are close friends, and you got to strike, it's your career. He's been there since, since he took over for Barnett, when Barnett left. So, yeah, he's been there a long time. Now it's about the time. Yeah, I think he took him about as far as he's ever going to take him.
Yeah, they did have an incredible year. It's just I never understand, the nuance that goes on between the coaches, the athletic departments, the players. I don't understand how they walk away like that. But I think the Harbaugh factor is the most interesting one, because we've been on this flirtation with, is he gonna turn this around? Is it gonna go the way that it should have, or is he just gonna leave? And I know that they were discussing his contract and reworking it so that there may be clauses for him to get out. So that to me is the one that I'm watching. Is he gonna go back? Is he gonna go back to the NFL? He didn't really like it the first time he did it, but it's not really working in college either. So I don't. That one I'm kind of interested in keeping an eye on. And then
I think
honestly,
they reworked it.
David Shaw. Go to the NFL, David Shaw. That is my get out of Stanford. We've already had a multitude of players from this year's Stanford team enter the transfer portal. I have it on good authority. It's going to be more than last year's 14 players last year went to the transfer portal, because that's how bad it is. And now there's going to be more. So David Shaw, go to the NFL, get out of Stanford and out of college coaching, please.
So you don't like him? Okay,
I have covered Stanford for a very long time. It's how I got my start. I think that he inherited a program from Harbaugh that was a well-oiled machine, and all you had to do was plug in the pieces and play it, and it was great. But the difference between David Shaw and Jim Harbaugh, weirdly enough, is recruiting. Jim Harbaugh had a very good system there for recruiting, and he was the kind of guys he was picking, these blue-collar players, Shane Scove, Andrew Luck, David DeCastro, all of these guys that are just Jonathan Martin, incredible, like gritty, Blake Martinez, incredible players, but they were down to earth tunnel workers union guys. That was the identity, and all you had to do was keep recruiting that and keep playing that way. But David Shaw is not identifiable with those players because he's not a blue collar guy, and he doesn't know how to reach them. And from what I've heard from the guys that I know on the teams in recent years is that he didn't really care about, the players in that way. They would come to him with problems. He just said, he quote unquote to a player said, "This is Stanford. You're lucky to be here." Wow. I think he became about the school and a figurehead for the program as opposed to being an advocate for the players, which that often gets mixed up, when you're a coach in college football. Do you cater to the school and who's paying you, or do you, do what you're supposed to do and guide these players and to help them transition from boys to men? That's what we just saw with Tony Franklin. I don't know if you guys saw the letter that he penned to football, but that's what he's calling, Rick Stockstill and head coaches out for. So.
I don't know if you've seen it, but ESPN put out their way too early top 25 for next year.
I hate those.
I do too, but they are very intriguing. So I'm gonna run through this for you and see if there's excuse me, anything that's glaringly upsetting to you.
It's wrong.
At okay. 1, they have the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah.
At 2, Alabama. 3, Oklahoma. 4, Georgia.
Okay.
5, Ohio State. 6, Texas A&M.
And Texas A&M they did not get the love. I like that, and I might even put them higher because I think Ohio State and Oklahoma should be a little bit lower. Texas A&M didn't get the love that they deserve. But
okay.
Proceed.
Sorry. North Carolina at 7.
I'll never understand the Tar Heels hype. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of their games, but everybody's so high on that program. I don't understand it, and it doesn't pan out. So I'm not a huge fan.
At number 8, the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I thought. At 9, the USC Trojans.
No, absolutely not. Why every year the same thing with USC? They're not the USC that no. If Clay Helton is still there, no.
Okay.
Just no. They're not even going to be top 25. They just can't. They have to get rid of him. I love the guy. He's so nice, but my God, no.
At 10, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Weird, but okay.
All right. 11, the Cincinnati Bearcats.
I like that, and I think probably higher because they're going to be out for blood, having been kept out, so we'll see.
At 12, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
There you go, Iowa. That's good.
We have a lot of returners. Your boy Spencer Petras.
Yeah. They're building something special. They just got to they need some big wins. That's what they need.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's going to concern me with Iowa is what we're going to do at receiver. We lost pretty much our entire receiving core, but we have strong returners at the O-line, running back, tight end, quarterback. Okay, 13, the Oregon Ducks.
Oregon. Yeah. They're losing quite a bit, especially in the tight end position, wide receiver. So they're going to have to reload, much like Iowa. But they always have a really athletic team. So I think that's high, but okay.
14, the Washington Huskies.
I don't know about that. They're going through some stuff right now. There's some NCAA violations that I'm hearing about, whispers, some recruiting stuff that probably shouldn't have gone down. Nothing that's going to be detrimental, but it's disconcerting to see in Jimmy Lake's first year. So I would hold reserve on that. So I think 14 is way too high, to be honest.
At 15, the Fighting Irish.
Oh boy. Every year, Notre Dame, they want to. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. 16, the Gators of Florida.
That's going to be interesting because they're losing so much. It's like a fire sale. QB, tight end, wide receiver, center. That's going to, I don't know. That might be, it's going to take them a minute, and I think that's a little high.
Wisconsin Badgers at 17.
They always have a good team, so I don't know if they're losing too much, but they battle. There's a couple guys coming out of there that I'm covering for the showcase next week, and one of them's a fullback, and they always put out really gritty players. So I like Wisconsin to be up there.
All right. Jay says I have to roll through these last ones really fast. So
Oh, sorry. Okay.
if they're crazy, let me know. We got Ole Miss at 18, Louisiana at 19, LSU at 20, Texas at 21, Penn State 22, Coastal Carolina 23, the Liberty Eagles at 24, and the Miami Hurricanes at 25. Anything in there?
Liberty Flames, man.
It says Eagles, but all right.
It's Flames.
Okay.
I well, just because I cover a lot of those, like, I love those little schools. Liberty's one of my faves. The Chanticleers as well. I think if I had to, those last ones, Texas is only that high because Sarkisian higher. LSU is getting 20 because of the respect that they've had in previous years. Cajuns, I want to believe, are that good. I think it's too high. Ole Miss, it was Kiffin at the helm, no shot. Drop them down. Penn State, who knows? It's a dumpster fire. Chanticleers deserve it. They're very good. Their OC, Willie Corn's incredible. They've got a young QB who's just going to get better. And Miami's going to be better than 25.
Okay.
They're losing their kicking and punting division, but they're gaining the brother of the kicker, Jose Borregales. His younger brother's coming in. He's incredible. And they're building something very special in Miami. So I think they're going to be higher.
There we go, Jay.
Emily, thank you so much for answering my text and taking the time to talk with us. I really, really appreciate it. It's always
I never will doubt you again.
To a text from Jay.
What'd you say?
But I'll never doubt you again, Emily. You realize that.
I said it's always good to wake up to a text from you, Jay.
He's blushing right now, Emily. He totally turned red. You should see his face right now.
Get out of here.
Oh, boy.
All right, kiddo. Thank you so
guys.
much. Yep, I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, we got to take our break.
All right, sorry. Emily Van Buskirk, everyone. Wealth of knowledge.
Says he's going to make your Rudy Poo candy ass famous.
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah! You like that? You like that?
This is Brian Rothenberger, radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
New year, new sportsbook. Get to know BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, by winning $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on Chicago versus Boston. And if either team hits a 3, you win. Just sign up and use bonus code FOSTER100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Then bet with confidence all year long with BetMGM's innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and much more. Download the app today or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code FOSTER100 to win $100 in free bets when you wager $1 on either Chicago or Boston to hit a 3. Enjoy your favorite sports like never before and make 2021 a year to remember. Sign up with BetMGM today. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Iowa only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. But maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising on this station. Get started today. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com. That's GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
What do I do with the number 1 overall pick? I know the New York Jets are sitting there at number 2. Everyone seems to think that Joe Douglas says that he's going to go lock and step with whoever he hires as the head coach to make a decision on Sam Darnold's future. But let's assume that that person moves on from Sam Darnold or want to move on from Sam Darnold. I'm Urban Meyer, and I like Justin Fields because I help recruit him, I know him, and I'm sitting at the number 1 spot. And the Jets are at 2. What I would do is pick up the phone in the Jets and say, hey, we're interested in Trevor Lawrence, but we hear you are too. You want to trade it and move 1 spot up? I tell you what, give me everything that you got in the first round this year, and I'll let you jump in front of me and take that spot to get Trevor Lawrence, because I really want Justin Fields without you really knowing that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
All right, all you trivia fans, get ready to play the Big Brothers Big Sisters virtual Trivia Putt-Putt. Question 1. When can you play Trivia Putt-Putt?
January 27th through the 30th, and 5 different sessions are open for play.
That's right. And where will Trivia Putt-Putt be held?
It's virtual, and you can play from anywhere.
Right again. Plus, it only costs $30 to play. Be the smarty pants of your group. Go to triviaputtputt.org and sign up today.
The Black Blizzard. More from the Iowa Almanac in a moment.
I'm Michael Swanger, owner and publisher of Iowa History Journal. Now is the time to subscribe to Iowa History Journal, as you won't want to miss the incredible stories we have planned for 2021. They are the kind of stories that you won't read in other magazines. As we begin our 13th year of publishing Iowa History Journal, we remind Iowans that many of our back issues are also available. Get your copy of our January-February issue at Hy-Vee and Fairway, or visit iowahistoryjournal.com and order it today.
The winter of 1888 had been fairly moderate, with only light amounts of precipitation in the Hohenzollern area of Crawford County in western Iowa. You know that area today as Schleswig, but our story happened 11 years before that town was even mapped out. January 12, 1888 began mild, but people noticed an ominous still in the air. Long before the days of weather warnings, folks were caught completely by surprise when suddenly a low howl was heard. It was the wind, bringing with it a blizzard from Nebraska and what was then called the Dakota Territory. By 4:30 in the afternoon, the storm arrived. The lack of previous snow cover meant that clouds of dust were stirred up by the strong wind. Then came an enormous amount of snow, and together they created blackout conditions, which is why the storm got the name the Black Blizzard. The storm raged throughout the night, piling snowdrifts 15 feet deep. The next morning, residents were greeted by sunshine and blue skies. The winds were calm, but they would long remember the fury of the Black Blizzard, which killed 235 people across the plains, many of them children on their way home from school, on this date in 1888. And that's Iowa Almanac for January 12th. Follow us on Twitter at Iowa Almanac. I'm Jeff Stein.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Once again, thanks to Emily Van Buskirk for letting us call her and Jay wake her up.
It didn't wake her up.
Dude, you totally
It was
blushed
10:30 in the
when
morning.
she said, I love waking up to a text from Jay.
I was
7:30
embarrassed
You
because I didn't say like good morning because I know she's 2 hours behind. So I hate to bother you in the morning, but I didn't do it till like 11:30. She's up at 9:30, and you know if Emily goes out the night before. Well, it was a national championship, but if you follow Emily on Twitter at MLM, you'll know if she's out. She doesn't hide about going out or what she's drinking. And, which, by the way,
that's why
if you see my Snapchat,
which is why we love her.
I know what it is. It's Tito's and cranberry with like a splash of soda. So
mine's usually Big Grove beer.
She's a kindred spirit.
Yeah. So maybe but I.
What'd you say?
So
What'd you say early in the week? We can smell our own.
Yeah, we can smell our own. Yeah. All right, we're going to call a new friend of the show. This is a guy named Alex, and he's up in Wisconsin. He's got a Packers podcast, but he works for ESPN up there in Madison as well. And I'll kind of set up the story here as we go when I introduce myself to Alex for the first time instead of just on social media. And you guys as well.
You got to type back to that.
Hello.
Yo, is this Alex?
Yep.
Hey, Alex, this is Jay. You're on the air, ESPN 1170 AM. In studio with me is T-Roy. Coral is here, and Sam from Big Grove Brewery is here as well. I want to set the stage here for our listeners here, Alex, down here in the Quad Cities. We're in eastern Iowa, western Illinois, just off of the Mississippi.
Good stuff.
Yeah, where are you located at right now?
I am in smack dab in the middle of the state. I'm in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Are you kidding me?
Whoa, calm down
over there.
You don't have to yell it. We're all 2 feet away.
Yes, I do, because I don't know anyone from Stevens Point besides my family.
Oh.
Well, now you know me. Here we are. Look at that.
Look
Small
at that.
world, I'll tell you.
All right.
But hold on, I gotta say, you guys are doing the most Wisconsin thing ever, right? Did I get this right? You guys are chugging double IPAs at 1 in the afternoon?
I mean, we're not chugging them, but
Well,
we're definitely
yes.
sipping them.
Mine's actually a golden ale, but yes, there's a couple double IPAs and some sours running
You know
around.
what's funny is I brought a point beer here the other day.
Yeah, we drank the Bombshell Blonde or whatever.
There you
Drop
go.
Dead
Look
Blonde.
at that.
There you go. Yeah.
How fun is that? But no,
I
seriously,
know.
when this all blows over, I'm going to need an in-person invite so I can come try some of that beer. That you guys
Absolutely.
bring.
Any damn time, man. Bring her down.
Yeah, I'm still drinking coffee. I'm behind, clearly.
It's 1 o'clock.
So, Alex, how do we pronounce your last name correctly?
Stroh.
Okay.
Like it rhymes with loaf.
Okay, and if you guys, for you following on Twitter, everything, it's at Alex_Strouf, STROUF.
You got it, man.
So, Alex, how this whole thing started was we've had the CEO of Locker Room App, Howard, on before. He's a Michigan State alum, and it happened to be the same week I was playing Michigan State. I'll throw on the app every once in a while, and I happened to start listening to you guys a couple Mondays ago, and that's when we started discussing the Kansas City Chiefs. And we said, like, are they for real? They haven't really beaten anybody by more than 7 points. And then you guys, I try to listen every Monday, you and Denton, right?
Yep, you got it.
And then, but you guys switched to Tuesday today, and I could only catch the end of it because we had a meeting over Zoom here at the studio, but I got to listen to it, and you guys are kind of flirting with maybe going to either Mondays or Tuesdays on the Locker Room app. So I just want to let everyone know out there that's download the app that you guys are on every day. But you're also on ESPN, and you're a station manager, and you have a podcast as well.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. That's the beauty of media in 2021, right? You do like 18 different jobs to pay the bills. So that's where we're at.
I feel that.
So, and then also in your bio it says that you enjoy sports and beer. So yes, we are here with Sam from Big Grove Brewery. It's in Iowa City and Solon also, and obviously Iowa City is the home of the Hawkeyes. And Sam comes down here every once in a while to visit us. It's been a long time because of the COVID, but he came down today and brought us some gear and some beer. And so yes, we are drinking in the studio at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
We're gonna get along just fine.
So really, what we need to do is let's talk Packers, because we lean a little bit more to the Bears here. We know some Vikings, and T. Roy's a Cowboys fan, and
we have tons of Packer fans around though.
Sam's a Kansas City fan, so we're kind of all over the place. But the more we can have our listeners talk about the Packers, the better.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, look, this team. I'm feeling good. I mean, you got the Rams at Lambeau Field in January. The Rams coming from Los Angeles. I think they're set up nicely, right? I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. Number one offense, number one defense. You got the McVay LaFleur narrative. You've got Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey. I mean, there's all sorts of storylines from this matchup. It's going to be an exciting weekend in the National Football League.
Yeah, what you pointed to is correct. With the defense the way they are, that's where, you got Jalen Ramsey out there and Donald, and then Aaron Rodgers, probably the favorite for the MVP, we would assume. There's one more storyline that I'm interested in, and I want to know if you are aware of this. The guy that just got signed with the Packers for the practice squad. Jared Veldheer, am I saying that right?
Veldheer, yeah.
Veldheer. So 2 weeks ago, he was coaching high school football. On Saturday, he started for the Colts.
Yes.
On Monday, he signed with the Packers, and this weekend he could become the first player in NFL history to suit up for two teams in the same postseason.
Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? And, I mean, it goes back a little bit further. Jared Veldheer started for the Packers against the Seahawks in the divisional round last year. So he's been a Packer. He was with them through training camp this year. He was cut in August. And then, as you mentioned, he was coaching high school football, went and started for the Colts. And it worked out with some weird COVID rule. I think I've got this right, that he can sign, because he was technically still with the Colts practice squad, even though he played on Saturday. So I don't know how he got back to the practice squad, but he was able to sign with the Packers. So Matt LaFleur said today, we're not sure what the role will be for him this weekend. He said, quote, "We just have to see how much recall he has from last year." So we'll see if he gets in the game. I would love to see that. I'm with you, because how cool of a storyline is that? I mean, that's on two teams in the same playoffs. This guy's double dipping trying to get a ring. It's like he went through a really bad divorce, and this is his rebound with the Packers. But it's working out better because he's already advanced further in the playoffs in a different conference. How does that work? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's got something to do by the COVID practice squad rules that were made possible this year. That's all I've read. You alluded earlier about the Green Bay offense and the LA defense. No team scored more points than Green Bay, and no team allowed fewer than LA. The line right now is -6.5. The over under 45.5. Do you have thoughts on either one of those?
Yeah, I have a thought on both of them.
Okay.
I think the Packers should win by a touchdown at minimum. So I think 6.5 is looking good. And the over under, you said it's 45.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 45 and a hook.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's tough. I think 45 is a really good number. I think the over is possible, though. Playoffs have been mostly high scoring, as we saw the opening weekend, especially on Saturday. The Packers offense, a lot of their campaign, and I've made this claim as well, has been made about their ability to put 30 points on the scoreboard. They did it in like 13 of their 16 games this year. Well, maybe not that much, but pretty close. Like 12 or 13 of their 16 games, they scored at least 28 points. I think if they get over that 27-point threshold, which the Rams have only allowed once since September, they'll win this game. Because if you go to war with Aaron Rodgers, if you're trying to have a shootout in Lambeau Field in January with Aaron Rodgers, you're probably not going to win. So as long as the Packers offense can get rolling, find momentum like it did against Tennessee in that blizzard a few weeks back, or even the momentum they had against Chicago in Week 17, if that continues to roll the way it has been, I have a hard time seeing the Packers losing this one on Saturday.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. I think the Packers just have too much firepower, and their defense is definitely good enough to shut down anything that the Rams are going to try to do.
Yeah, they definitely got to step up. Obviously, we saw what Cam Akers did this past weekend against Seattle. The kid's good at football, no denying that. They can run, and they'll shove it down your throats if they have the ability to tout Sean McVay's schemes. I think it's going to be interesting. Defensively for Green Bay, I think you'll see them do some of what they did against San Francisco, albeit they were beat up, but earlier in the year. So we'll see from a defensive standpoint. But I need to throw this in there. Let's not forget the Rams lost to the Jets less than a month ago. Just had to throw it out there.
Yes.
That's true, yeah.
They certainly did. We know some Rams fans around here. We let them know it, too.
I didn't mean to add salt into the wound, but just if you're a Packers fan, maybe you can calm down knowing that happened less than a month ago.
We have T-Roy in here. Speaking of salt in the wounds, we have T-Roy in here who's a Cowboys fan.
I was about to say we know some Cowboys fans.
You've been following the Packers long enough to know about Mike McCarthy. How did McCarthy talk his way into an NFL coaching job?
He told him he watched every NFL game from the previous season, which was just not accurate at all.
It didn't. So did I. It didn't help me out at all. I'm not a head coach either. I mean, this guy. I mean, he's just. Someone referred to him as Fat Jason Garrett, and I really love that allusion, Fat Jason Garrett, because I don't think. I mean, as of right now, they just hired Mike Nolan down there to be the new defensive coordinator. I think Nolan's a great defensive coordinator, not a great head coach. But I'm still stuck with another season of McCarthy, so please let me know how much I'm going to be in tears next year.
Yeah, I agree with you on Dan Quinn. I mean, he should have been out as the head coach, 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, really. And he's a great defensive coach. You couldn't tell that when he was still coaching the Falcons earlier this year. But I like that hire alongside McCarthy. McCarthy's an offensive mind. Quinn is a defensive mind. I think they'll mesh well. I think the season went off the tracks, and really any offensive scheme that Mike McCarthy had in place went off the tracks as soon as Dak Prescott went off the field. And we'll see what happens with Prescott. But I think the harsh reality of the Mike McCarthy situation is he's been figured out. And he didn't show a whole lot of improvement in Dallas this year. 6-10, maybe not even as bad as it was as a fan. Sorry. But obviously there's some improvement to be had. I don't think this team is as bad as you saw this year. I mean, ideally, Andy Dalton probably isn't anybody's starting quarterback. Cincinnati went to Joe Burrow instead for a reason. So we'll see. I think give it time. I wouldn't completely be all out on McCarthy yet, but this year certainly was not super convincing, if you will.
Now let's circle back to the Packers because we have a question for you on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. It's a prop bet question. It's a really good question, and it comes from Erickson. He said Adams has been a monster on scoring the first TD in the games this season. With Ramsey on Adams, give me another guy that could score the first touchdown of the game.
Oh yeah, that's another question too.
Yeah, that's a great one. We'll get to the second one in a second. Sorry, I'm rambling. Now I'm thinking. I think you've got to think tight ends. Robert Tonyan has been a big target for Aaron Rodgers this year, and this might be the scenario where we get some two tight end sets with Mercedes Lewis and Bobby Tonyan. If I was to throw my money on it, I tend not to bet on the Packers, but if I was to throw my money on it, I would go probably Robert Tonyan or Aaron Jones.
Okay. That's a really good answer. Another question from Erickson. Last season, the Packers went to L.A. and got blown out. What does he think the Packers will do differently this time around?
Yeah, I think this is. I mean, that's comparing apples to oranges. I mean, you're looking at early into the Matt LaFleur era when you talk about that loss, and now you're looking at through two seasons. Progression is expected when you go from year one to year two of an offense. See, there you go. There's a positive Dallas. If you want to put it that way. But,
Thanks for keeping me happy.
Of course, I'm doing my best. But I mean, progression from year one to year two of an offensive system is expected. So Matt LaFleur showed he wasn't bluffing the first year around. 13-3 last year, 13-3 again this year. This offense is way better than it was last year. The defense is the same. But it's a different Rams team. It's a different Packers team. It's a divisional playoff round in Lambeau Field in January. Everything's different. I think it's hard to compare that. But I will say this. I think the Packers know what they're going up against, a really good defense. There's no secret about that. And a meh offense, an offense that can turn it on if they need to. But I'm not super confident, as I said earlier, with them if they get into a shootout. Aaron Rodgers is winning that war 10 times out of 10. So we'll see. I think, again, I'm not feeling too nervous about this one. I think the Packers should win and should win handedly.
You're gonna say that about Clutch Wolford if he plays? I mean, Clutch?
I mean, that guy.
Really, Jay?
I don't even know if that's his nickname. I just made it up.
Clutch Wolford. Come on.
But, yeah, I think you could do better than that. But I'll tell you this. I hated that they were showing him in the ambulance on that game broadcast this past weekend. I don't know if I need to see that, but I hope is he all right? Do we have an update on Wolford? I haven't seen anything yet.
I think you're getting Jared Goff and his gimpy thumb. I think that's who you're getting.
I think that you're getting a matchup of the University of California quarterback.
Yes.
So we will see.
Real quick before we let you go, we appreciate your time. Let's go through some of the other games. Who you like in the games? Kansas City, Cleveland.
Give me Kansas City. That's the biggest spread of the weekend, and right. So I'll take Kansas City.
And would you give up the points, the -10?
It is -10 now. It was -9.5 last time I looked. I like 9.5 better than 10, but I'd probably still lay it down. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Baltimore at Buffalo. Now I don't know if it moved. This was 2 on. Or was it 2.5? It was
close.
2.5. Yeah. Right around
there. 2.5 is what I last saw, and I think it's going to be right around there. I like Buffalo -2.5. They should win this game at home, but I said this earlier today when we were doing the locker room show you alluded to at the top. I think this could sneakily be the best game of the weekend. Obviously, a lot of hype around Breeze versus Brady, but I think this game could turn out. Baltimore's peaking at the right time, but Buffalo's just a better football team. I'll take them -2.5.
I don't know if I had ever followed up on this, but I thought I heard or read somewhere that Harbaugh has the most road wins in playoff history.
That would make sense. I remember when they were the Super Bowl champions. I think they had at least 1 or 2 road games. But I mean, it's been a few years since they've won one with Lamar Jackson at the helm. So that doesn't shock me. I feel like he has been on the road quite a bit.
And then Saints Tampa. Last we looked at this was Saints -3.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. But I might go Tampa +3. I think I might like them money line. In fact, I think Tampa Bay might. I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that Drew Brees is going to get the better side of Tom Brady 3 times in the same football season. It just doesn't seem like a reality to me.
Yeah, I'm totally in agreement.
Yeah, and well, good. Look at us sitting on the same page. But look, I think Brady Rodgers in the NFC Championship game, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
It's going to be beautiful to watch. I know it's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Yeah.
I like the positivity.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, let's just do so. Instead of me writing this out and the AFC and the championship game, why don't we make time to talk next week too, as well?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Appreciate you having me on, and I love talking Packers. So anytime, hit me up.
Okay, now tell everyone where they can follow you. It's at Alex Strouf, ALEX_Strouf, STROUF on Twitter. The Locker Room app, same thing, Alex Strouf.
You got it, man.
Anything else? Instagram? You want to plug the podcast?
Yeah, well, the Pack a Day podcast, daily podcast, I'm on there a couple times a month. Check that out wherever you get your podcast. Probably, I'm a little biased, but I think that's the best daily Packer commentary you'll find anywhere. So,
Erickson, are you listening?
We have a friend. He's one that asks all the questions he wants to know, yeah. So,
thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, man. I will talk to you real soon.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah, that's Alex Strouf out there at Stevens Point. I'm putting this on to Erickson. I'm answering now because I didn't know how much time. He asked, is Lambeau allowing any fans during the postseason? Yes, roughly 8,000 are going to be allowed in the stands at Lambeau during the game. So that's Alex Strouf. And when we come back, we're going to talk more with Sam. He's been quiet over there. So we got to get him going.
He wants to talk Chiefs, man.
He's quieter than me today.
We got to get him going and talk about.
It's a great contrast to Leah.
We got to get him going, and we got to talk to him about possible spots for Eric Bieniemy to go, the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. You want to read something for me?
Stay home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done Right TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premium local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to search live TV over 80,000 on-demand titles and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you. Once again, that's Done Right TV, Security and Solutions, 866-84-RIGHT.
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody! You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Ella Schmidt, the 106-pounder for Bettendorf, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Is this your favorite time of year for sports? I'll bet it is. Sports bettors, are you ready? Are you ready for $100 in free bets? That's right, $100 in free bets. You can now experience Iowa's premium sportsbook from the comfort of your own home. Download the PointsBet app now and use code Iowa to get $100 in free bets when you deposit just $20. When you bet with PointsBet, you get faster bets, faster withdrawals, and faster rewards at your fingertips. All in an easy-to-use app rated #1 on Trustpilot. See for yourself why bettors are calling PointsBet innovative, lightning quick, and the reason they have ditched the other books. Download the app now to experience Iowa's premium sportsbook for yourself. Download the PointsBet app now and sign up with code Iowa to get $100 in free bets when you deposit $20. That's $100 on your first $20 deposit. So, are you ready? Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
It's time to rise and grind. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
What do I do with the #1 overall pick? I know the New York Jets are sitting there at #2. Everyone seems to think that Joe Douglas says that he's going to go lock and step with whoever he hires as the head coach to make a decision on Sam Darnold's future. But let's assume that that person moves on from Sam Darnold or want to move on from Sam Darnold. I'm Urban Meyer, and I like Justin Fields because I helped recruit him, I know him, and I'm sitting at the #1 spot. And the Jets are at 2. What I would do is pick up the phone to the Jets and say, hey, we're interested in Trevor Lawrence, but we hear you are too. You want to trade it and move one spot up? I tell you what, give me everything that you got in the first round this year, and I'll let you jump in front of me and take that spot to get Trevor Lawrence, because I really want Justin Fields without you really knowing that.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. But maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising on this station. Get started today. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com. That's GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti.
If you're Dak Prescott, do you believe in the management of the Cowboys? Do you believe they can help you to win a Super Bowl? I personally don't know if I believe that in Dallas. If I'm Dak, I want to hold them hostage. I not only want my money, I not only want the years I get, but if I don't get that, then franchise tag me for another year. Pay me my $38, $39 million and let my proof be on the field. I know he just had an injury, and I know that's a gamble for a guy like Dak Prescott, but then I'm thinking about, can I go to a scenario like San Francisco? Like, what's going to happen with Jimmy G? But Kyle Shanahan, that defense, that can help me win a Super Bowl a lot quicker. Can I go to a situation like a New Orleans? Drew Brees is going to retire. That defense is intact. I have weapons. I know what's there.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
When you order for Casey's curbside pickup this winter, we bring your order outside.
Today's forecast, colder than the shady side of an iceberg.
So you can stay inside your warm car.
I love my heated seats.
We go outside.
Raw punishing winds.
You stay inside.
They're almost too warm.
Outside.
Tomorrow's high, -3.
Inside.
So toasty.
Order for Casey's new curbside pickup and save with new deals like buy any large pizza, get one half off with promo code BOGO. Casey's, here for staying inside.
Bundle up, folks.
Here for good.
And here's the crazy thing, Lakers fans. AD needed championships. Chips, plural, to start entering the greatest power forward ever conversation, because he's got the skills, right? But Tim Duncan did too, and Tim Duncan's got 5 chips. Well, AD's got 1 now. How many does he need to win with the Lakers before he starts entering that conversation? Who's the greatest power forward of all time?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170, KBOB Davenport.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning back in to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Great guest, Jay. Erickson saying that Alex was the best guest of the year so far. And he's so biased.
And it's only January, 12th?
Yeah,
I bet he did.
Oh, Erickson.
Best call of the year. I'm so happy.
Erickson said that guy's special.
Yeah. We had back-to-back calls. We had Emily Van Buskirk talking about the national championship game and some questions that we had about college football. And then Alex, like I said, that's just one of those situations because of Howard's Locker Room app that I've been listening to. Just happened to have it on one day, prepping for the show, and started listening to these two guys and started following them on Twitter, and they run a really good show. And I was like, well, I'm going to take a shot and just ask Alex if he wants to come talk about the Packers, because we don't really have anyone that comes in and talks about, what outside of for NFL with us, because we lost Rosso and we lost Vasco. So,
yeah. I miss Vasco.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Vasco, Steeler fan.
Yeah,
God.
we could probably, we should probably reach out to him though, because he still covers football. He has his own podcast, so
I know he does.
I'm gonna DM him right now.
Okay.
Check on your Steelers fans this week, man. Check on them.
They're not doing well.
They might not be doing too well.
Joey Mossbrucker.
I got it.
Not in good spot.
So I told you yesterday or Monday that this was the fourth straight time that that Tomlin has taken the Steelers, has gone one and done the playoffs after winning 11 plus games.
Right.
And he lost 2.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that we know it's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Then it was Blake Bortles. Then it was Tim Tebow. And then it was Joe Flacco. All those are not Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Well, Flacco does have a Super Bowl victory.
I know, but I think that was the one year.
That was the year that he lost to Flacco the year Flacco won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to go back, but I just know I know the name's on there. So,
do you know who Flacco beat to win the Super Bowl that year?
The San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
The brothers Super Bowl. Yeah. It was the Harbaugh Super Bowl. All right, so Sam's in the studio with us from Big Grove. Sam's also a Kansas City fan, and there are 7 openings, Sam, and some people just refuse to just even interview, kind of like the Houston Texans. Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of Kansas City.
I don't think you'd want to go to the Texans anyway. That is
I don't think
seems
so
like a bit of a dumpster fire.
You're losing Deshaun Watson, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, he's not having it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gone. He's demanding a trade.
This doesn't. I don't understand is why the Dolphins aren't on the phone call right now.
For Deshaun?
Yeah, they've
I'm
got
sure
the
they
picks.
are.
Yeah, like it's just a matter of what.
But I'm sure they are.
It just get it done.
Yeah. You take him and you give them Tua.
Yeah, and then you got to give up
And
probably
a first-round pick.
another first-round pick. Yeah,
That's done. Done
they-
and done. There.
now there's been rumors that just Houston wants like 3 number ones for him, or 4, even up to 4.
Well, I saw one thing going on where San Fran makes a trade for Tua, and then the Dolphins then take Justin Fields at 3. Which I doubt. I don't think Justin Fields is going to.
It doesn't seem like as much of an upgrade, maybe. As you
I
might.
don't think so either.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is not better than Tua.
Yeah.
He proved it last night.
So CBSSports.com was reporting on the firing of Doug Peterson, and they've made 10 candidates out there. So these are names we should probably get to know anyway. But at number 1, they have in Philadelphia, they have Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of Kansas City. What would be the only thing the knock on Eric Bieniemy would be that you're not going to have another Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, but wasn't Bieniemy an Eagle at one point in his career?
Let's see.
Brad Hine said they announced today that they're requesting an interview with Bieniemy.
The Eagles are?
Yeah.
Good.
No, he says Houston.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Houston.
Now they're trying to mend the fence with Watson. Okay, because that's who he wanted. He was upset that he didn't get a say on who the GM hire was, and then he was upset that they didn't request an interview with him. So, all right. The number 2 they have the offensive coordinator from Tennessee Titans, Arthur Smith.
Okay.
Because what he's done with Tannehill, and also with Derrick Henry. The number 3 that they have on here, the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, Brian Daboll. I believe I'm saying that right. I mean, Josh Allen was. Do you really think he's the most improved quarterback like they're writing? I mean, he was a first rounder.
Yeah, but I mean,
his accuracy for sure is. I mean, he's improved.
He made a great step forward. I mean, he was in discussions for MVP at the beginning of the year. I mean, granted, he never really tapered off too bad, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers is just.
The question with
skyrocket.
most of these guys is like, okay, you're an offensive coordinator, and Jay, as you brought up, like how much of your credit goes to just having an awesome quarterback, and all this, like Adam Gase with Peyton Manning, he goes to the Jets, and it's like, it's terrible.
I mean, that's basically it. I mean,
you need a good quarterback. I mean, it's a quarterback
has
league, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes,
exactly, 100%.
Right?
Yep.
But Gase gets stuck with Biscuit,
right?
Bull comes from he's under the Bill Belichick umbrella. So he won 5. He was an assistant coach on the team and won 5 Super Bowl rings under him. James Urban, the quarterback coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, what he's done with Lamar Jackson and everything else. He's also a former assistant coach with Reed from 2004 to 2009 for the Eagles. Lincoln Riley. There's your first college name being mentioned. The head coach of Oklahoma Sooners.
That was your hot guy last year, Jay.
Yeah, I thought that's what he was going to go to Dallas last year.
Yeah, no, we got fat Jason Garrett.
He's had people like he's coached Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, and his name's always going to be brought up. Jim Caldwell. They want experience. There's your guy.
Blast from the past, yeah.
What?
62-50 record in his 3 at Indianapolis and Detroit Lions. He did lead him to a Super Bowl appearance.
He's got a lot of connections to Iowa too.
Let's see. I don't like Caldwell. He's 65 years old.
Yeah.
Mike Kafka, the quarterback's coach, passing game coordinator under the Kansas City Chiefs. Now that's the name I've heard a lot, actually leapfrogging Eric Bieniemy in some circles in interviews. but he is a former Eagles quarterback. So there's another name. We mentioned this one before. Robert Saleh, is that right? Defense coordinator, San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, that dude is. I'm telling you what, that dude is the dude I really like.
He's been on that list for a couple of years now. Yeah,
he's a good coach.
He was a defensive quality control coach for the Super Bowl winning 2013 Seattle Seahawks, helping guide Legion to Boom to one of the most dominant defenses in the league. Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator at the Rams. That resume of this year alone is pretty solid. First in the NFL in opponents per play. First in the NFL pass defense. First in opponents big plays with 20-plus yards allowed. First in the NFL total defense. Defensive scoring. First in opponent 3-and-out percentage. The Rams were second in the league in sacks. Third in rush defense. Third down and third in NFL third down defense. And then Deuce Staley, the assistant coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. So they would have to promote within. He was obviously an Eagles running back for them, so the fans would really like that. I'm assuming people like Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, Corey Clement over the years, those people that he's worked under is a good spot for him as well. But it looks like they're going to go to your cupboard, too. Some people are. There's a passing game coordinator in Eric Bieniemy. I don't know. I feel like this is our third or fourth year talking about Eric Bieniemy.
Feels like it.
And every year we just go, well, what happened? Why didn't it work out? What's going on? So
there's got to be something in the interview process that's going wrong. I mean, because obviously his proof's in the pudding and what he's putting on the field. Or is it the fact that people are looking at it like, a comment by Erickson. Top 5, all 3 positions, Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey. He goes, I'd be a good OC with those weapons as well. Okay, but is it all just the weapons? I don't know. But you follow me. Is that what it is? Is he coming in, he's not interviewing well, and they're just saying, well, yeah, he's really good, but, look who he's got. So, who knows? NFL GMs are, and owners are odd group, to say the least.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jerry Jones hired fat Jason Garrett. He watched
a lot of owners,
every NFL game.
A lot of owners almost can't get out of their own way,
Thank you.
Just,
Jones isn't the only one. The idiot from the Washington football team.
Yeah, Dan Snyder.
The McCaskies.
Yep. Shad Khan from the Jaguars saying that he's still going to be 100%, player personnel control. It's like,
yeah,
great. I get you're a great businessman, but
maybe you
bring in Urban Meyer, let him just run the show and see what happens.
Right.
That's the story there, right? That he's already got his staff in place or whatever. I know someone said it earlier when we were talking to Emily about what's the best names to fill in.
I heard Jeff Fisher still already has a staff.
Come on, really?
I can't tell the difference. Him and Dave Wanstead, they're the same person to me. Like I'm not. It's
you want to go 8-8, 9-7, whatever.
Yeah. Almost make the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Speaking of just the way we're looking at it, and we've mentioned the year that we've had the COVID. Just
the COVID.
Yeah.
The vid.
Miss Rona.
What's wrong?
We got all of the championships done, but nothing really too surprising as far as who the champions were. Going into the college football season, Alabama had the third best odds at plus 500. Ohio State was preseason co-favorite with Clemson at plus 275. The NHL, the Lightning won. They were plus 675. The WNBA, the co-favorite, the Storm, won the championship. The Lakers were ranked 2 in the preseason at plus 450. Dodgers were 2 at plus 385. And the Chiefs were the preseason favorite at plus 450. And they finished with the league's best record, the best odds to win the Super Bowl. So we got it all off. It's all a little bit different. Yesterday, Rob Manfred told Major League Baseball to get ready. We're doing 162 games. But they have not said anything about fans in the stadium, stands, or anything like that yet.
Why every time I hear his name do I think of that song "Blinded by the Light"?
Yeah, Manfred Mann.
Wrapped up like a deuce.
So, it was. Do you think it takes anything away because of? Do you think Wolford goes into Seattle if all those fans are in Seattle and wins that game, or Goff, whatever else with his 4 fingers?
No.
So, like I said, the lowest there that was favored was Alabama, and that wasn't even that big of a different jump. So I'm just trying to figure out, because all the favorite, nothing really came out of anywhere. You can have the Rays taking it to Game 6, but Do you think not having the fans affected? I mean,
definitely. I think
it
affects
affects
football.
the most, right?
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
Baseball.
Baseball, I don't think so much.
Maybe in the World Series a little bit, but
they played everything in a neutral stadium too, just to make sure that it wasn't as No, but football, yeah, I think especially for teams like Seattle, even Green Bay,
Green Bay's a big
Kansas
one.
City too.
I mean,
Denver.
Yeah.
I guess it's more the.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think the Steelers would have lost that game to Cleveland? Yes, I do.
Well, even like you look at college basketball. So watching the Hawks the other night, I'm like, this game against Minnesota. I'm like, I not that I was bored, but you get to that point where you're just like, I just don't have the energy that I would have if when Bohannon hits a three, it just goes crazy.
Yeah, that's
true.
And
the same thing comes over to the NFL games where it's like, okay, Lambeau, who knows what the weather's going to be this weekend? Can you imagine?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like it's been so long.
Yeah,
It
those
feels
dudes
like it's
would be
been so
up there,
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in their Carhartt.
Oh my God.
I got one for
And
you.
the tailgating, the tailgating in Kansas City. I mean,
Switch hats.
just these iconic places, and it's just so like sterile now. Just this. Even if they pump in crowd noise, it's not the same.
No.
Right.
I got one for you.
Lay it on me.
It's gonna be really, really odd, really, really
What,
strange.
this year?
Yes, and there's only three home dates, and I'll go. I think maybe even this Friday. It'll be Carver and it'll be wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that atmosphere can change you, even if you were right down the middle, know all the rules, and you have like a mindset of like, no, I know what's right, what's wrong, or I know wrestling. That atmosphere can change you in a heartbeat. And I'll give you an example.
13,000 people. Yeah.
I'll give you it does. Spencer Lee, it'll go right out of the gate. Boom. They'll blow the whistle. The other guy will dance around a little bit. Within 12 seconds, some numbskull will go, he's stalling. And you look around like, come on. We're 12 seconds in the match. Like, he's stalling. You're like, whatever. And then it gets a little bit tighter. And by like, the fourth or fifth weight class, I'm right there with him. He's stalling. You can't do that. You got to bang him, ref, bang him. And I fall for it every single time. I look around, I'm like, who is the idiot yelling stalling already? And then by the end, again, like within 5 matches, because you're just so into it, and the crowd gets so on top of them. But I don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, parents, and then, there's only going to be parents there and a handful of other people that are going to be there. And then you hear your dad, like just his voice, and you're wrestling, you're like, Dad! Like, knock it off. That's what it's going to be like. It's the only person that's going to do it is going to be like someone from your family. I mean, brands will get out there and yell at whatever else, and there'll be fans that'll, kind of give the referees the business, but it won't be nearly as bad as it is before. And there's no way I'm going to get like overwhelmed by the crowd on top of everybody on top of that mat. So
the atmosphere of sports is something that we, probably for years just never realized how much it matters.
So I think it took some people out of the game. I don't think it would have made a difference in Pittsburgh once they missed that snap right away, and it just kind of seemed like they just never were in it. But I don't think the Rams beat Seattle on the road if the fans are there. I think that one's a completely different one. And Lambeau is always a big deal, but playing in those temperature type of things is always going to make a difference too when it starts to get a lot colder up there. All right, let's take our last break of the hour. We'll come back. We'll talk beer with Sam.
Locally owned and operated in the Quad Cities since 1934, Tri-City has been your source for restaurant equipment in value, quality, very competitive prices, and full service. Your restaurant equipment choices include kitchen cookware, cooking equipment, refrigeration, kitchen utensils, tableware, china, glassware, and flatware. All restaurant equipment and kitchen equipment sales are guaranteed, including 30-day labor.
Do they deliver to Quad City residents?
Yeah, they do.
All of them?
Yeah.
Every one of them?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Tri-City delivers to Quad City residents, and they will match any online price.
So we basically can tell Amazon, no way, Jose.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. What's the phone number?
Their phone number is 563-322-5382.
And if I want to go down to the showroom, what are the hours?
8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
What's the address?
527 West 4th Street in Davenport.
Let's get down to Tri-City Equipment Quad Cities today.
Hawkeye headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
I love getting free shirt.
For real, free shirt is always awesome. Did you see this shirt?
That shirt's crazy. Where did you get that?
QC Custom Tees. They all about free shirt this time of year. They have a sweet deal going on right now where you buy 25 hoodies for $25 each and get free shirt with every hoodie purchase.
Wait, so you mean I can order 25 hoodies and when I pick them up, I get to take a shirt when I pick them up?
Actually, you can take 25 shirts when you pick them up. If you need more, you can order 50 hoodies and the price drops to $20 each. And of course, more free shirts.
Holy
Whoa, this is a radio commercial. Careful what you say. Baby, you should go to QC Custom Tees now and take advantage of the free shirt they're offering before the special disappears.
Great idea. I just need to take care of one thing first. Do you know where the bathroom is?
Time is limited. This deal won't last long. Go to their website, qccustomtees.com, or find them on Facebook, QC Custom Tees.
I'm Kyle Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. 3 years ago, Doug Peterson led the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl title. Now he's out of a job. Philadelphia fired their head coach Monday after 5 seasons with the team. In a statement, Peterson said while he's disappointed, it was an honor to coach the Eagles. Former Falcons head coach Dan Quinn has a new gig. He agreed to a 3-year deal Monday to become the new defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Some other coaching news, Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith interviewed for the Falcons and Jets head coaching jobs. The Jets also interviewed Saints defensive backs coach Aaron Glenn, while the Lions met with Saints assistant head coach Dan Campbell. And we could have history on Saturday. The Packers signed offensive lineman Jared Veldheer just 2 days after he started for the Colts and their playoff loss to Buffalo. As a result, Veldheer could be the first NFL player to ever play for 2 different teams in the same postseason. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Hindsight is 20/20. 2020 was a brutal year with a lot we couldn't control. Pandemic, economy, unemployment. What can we control? Our job, our career. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? Yes. It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real-life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
Listen up, football fans. I've got the perfect way to make the playoffs even more exciting this weekend. It's called a same-game parlay bet, and they're only available on FanDuel Sportsbook. A same-game parlay bet lets you combine multiple bets from a single game for an even bigger win during the first round. You can combine the money line, the over-under, and player props all in one parlay. And the best of all, FanDuel is letting you place a same-game parlay bet risk-free. All FanDuel customers, you can get up to $10 back on your bet if you don't win. The playoffs are the perfect time to give one a shot. It's just one of the many ways to win on FanDuel. Ease of use, easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet. Product features, multi-game parlay and same-game parlay ops so you can get a massive payout on a small bet. If you haven't already, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up to get started. And use my promo code Trevor at sign up. That's promo code Trevor at sign up. If you're a current customer, then you're all set. Go check out same-game parlays only available on FanDuel Sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hey, Quad Cities, it's Jaybird with Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Get your local sports talk 12 to 2 with me, T-Roy, Bomber, and Surge. Download the station app to listen to us anywhere. And like us on social media to join in the conversation. Plus, when you sign up to be an ESPN Insider, you'll get access to all of our great contests and everything that's going on at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. We are the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Janae and Golick Jr.
The difference that a ring makes in a Hall of Fame campaign, like the one Phillip Rivers is going to get ready for, is seismic for me,
I don't
Janae.
like you. I don't like you right now.
Why is that?
I really don't like you. Because, I am 28 years old, professional athlete currently for the LA Sparks. And like, I come front every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to win a championship. It matters so much to me because I feel like, honestly, that's the only thing I haven't really done. I did it in high school, didn't get to do it in college. And then now at the professional level against the best of the best, that's awesome. But it's funny because it's graded on the scale of how much does a championship matter to that athlete, right? At some point, you know, some people are just good with their legacy being pretty good and better than most. But, I just think it's funny because every time these things are sometimes subjective per the athlete, I would love it, but I'm still good regardless, but it would help.
Shanae and Gola Jr., 306 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170. All the sports you need, all in one place. Get them all right here on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back, Quad Cities. This is Don't Hassle Us for Local here on AM 1170.
Well, we started the show talking about beer and the Natty Championship, not the Natty Light, but Sam.
Dang it.
I like Natty Light.
Yeah,
Natty Light's what I drank in college, man.
Yeah.
Same.
Just
Although my first shotgun was a Rolling Rock, so it was.
Yeah, I know we had some questions about how are they going to make how the 8,000 are going to be there. That part I don't know. You guys can Google that and find it out. I just read it from Axial Sports.
Your guess is
Tennis was 8,000, so that's I know there's 300,000 owners. I don't know how they're going to pick and choose after that who gets to go, but only 8,000. I don't know. Friends and family. How many are on the roster? And then you got the other roster as well, so that's probably it, right? You guys each get 4, 5, 6 tickets.
Yeah.
I
bet you it's only 2.
I'll be in attendance on my couch, so I'm not really too concerned about the 8,000.
No.
All right, Sam. So, what did you remind everyone what you brought in for us today?
A lot of things.
I brought in a lot of beers.
You got a new hat.
You've
on.
got the cranberry plum swirl there.
Mhm.
That just came out a couple weeks ago. I
So
brought in
good.
the Apocalypse Volume 5, which is 2 beers in one 4-pack, 2 beers or 2 cans of each beer, which is a West Coast double IPA and an East Coast double IPA. You'll see that here in the Quad Cities starting to hit the shelves on Friday.
Now, when you say shelves, that'll be at your Fairways and your Hy-Vees and everything else. Okay.
Yep. So they'll transfer it over. Our distributor transfers it midweek, and then you'll start to see it on the shelves by the end of the week. So, just a super exciting series and something that, like I said, it gives credit to the brewers because they are the ones that do all the work, to be honest. So they're always kind of behind the scenes, and to be able to get them their own little characters on the cans is pretty fun. So what'll happen is this 4-pack comes out. 3 weeks later, we'll have another 4-pack of 2 beers. And then 3 weeks after that, we'll have another 4-pack. So there's 3 total 4-packs, 6 beers total. And each one will feature a different character from the brewery.
So would that next one be considered Volume 6, or is...
Nope. So it's all Volume 5. So we just go by year. We've been doing this now. This is our 5th year. And so this first release is all kind of focused around the Simcoe hop. The next one will be focused around Citra hop, and then our last one will be focused around Galaxy hop, which is like what's in Color TV.
Yeah.
That's a popular hop. I'll be honest. So,
and so what we need people to do also, besides going into Hy-Vees and shelves or whatever else, but this
Make a trip to Iowa City.
But you for these sours and everything else, you can do this packaging for bars as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So we absolutely, bars pick up our cans all the time, but then we also will have some of these beers available on draft. We pulled a little bit of that back lately. Obviously, you guys have seen that the draft volume has decreased as we have to go 50% and all this other all the other regulations. But I think that once you get into warmer weather, obviously places with patios, and then once we get through everything, I honestly think that it's going to be we're going to be looking at the Roaring 20s again, right? I mean,
let's hope.
I hope so.
Look, people are social creatures.
It is the 20s.
It is the 20s, yeah.
So, yeah.
History repeating itself in some way or another. Yeah, so what you need to do is you need to, at your favorite watering hole, tell them to get Big Grove in any way, shape, or form if they don't have it. And then if they say, like the one I saw or heard about on Don't Hassle Us for Local, then the rep can always get a hold of Sam and they'll say, this is what I brought in, because it might be stuff that they want to try. Now that you just mentioned it, and you guys were talking about this off the air,
mm-hmm.
and not to get too deep into COVID talk or whatever, but do you think that the new reports are that if you had it, you're in the good for a while?
This is something I read, and it was an MIT report. So obviously they're pretty smart at MIT.
Yeah,
I'm kind of going to go off
I'm
what they
seeing
say.
more. I think I saw that too. It's like up to a year now or something.
They're just saying what they're thinking is it might be well past a year.
Yeah,
things are looking very similar to as if you got the SARS, which was the H1N1 flu, and like for people that got that, I want to say they're saying like some of those people are good for like 8 years. So they're saying even like if you're getting the shot, if you haven't had it and you're getting the vaccine, like that alone, you might not even need a booster. It might be so strong. So they're things are very
fluid.
Yeah, so they're trying to say this is how it's looking. It's trending this way. So it's good news, for everybody that has a bar, restaurant, or whatever else that needs to be fully open and have the basically the entire population at ease. Because there's still people that don't go out. So yeah, and then that's just that's what you need to flourish as a business for everybody to be like, okay, I'm good to go. And if I'm worried about it, I can get this. Or
and props to all the bar owners and managers that have just every new regulation that came out, it was like, okay, what's next? How do we conform to this? And we'll do it and be as safe as possible and stay open and do what we can to still create business and do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, thank God, in Iowa, for example, I mean, we're lucky enough to not have had to deal with the things that our friends and families and whatever else over on the Illinois side have had to deal with, because it is a nightmare over there.
No kidding.
Yeah, and no disrespect
and I feel bad for them.
No disrespect to our friend of the show, but I'd much rather have these conversations with you guys than being told, how this is all going to go away after January 20th or something. I have no idea. But I do want to say
I'm not buying any of that crap anymore because it was supposed to go away after November 3rd and didn't go after November 3rd.
I did see something that was funny.
So
I did see something that was funny that someone wrote on social media, one or two, and it said Twitter and quote, "We can do what we want. We're a private company." And then someone just wrote underneath, "Any of my bar owner or restaurant owning friends want to chime in on this?"
I retweeted that.
It's pretty spot on. Like we can
yeah,
do
Twitter,
what
you can stick it where the sun don't shine as far as I'm concerned. So yeah.
Yeah, I retweeted that.
Hopefully, I mean, I think just talking with a lot of bar owners and people in the industry, it's like if we can make it through this next 10 to 12 weeks, at least until weather starts to get warmer, because what we saw in the summer was definitely people were outside and on patios and doing things a lot more, and it's winter's tough in Iowa because it's
tough even without a virus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it really is true.
Yeah.
The craziest thing about it is though I'd say we're close to halfway through January, a third of the way through, and you don't see people posting about how they have seasonal affective disorder right now.
Well, I never post about it because I'm not attention seeking like that.
But I mean, it's not like usually it's all people that are saying that that's when I'm inside, it just makes me depressed. I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but there's less and less about it because there's other things, because they have politics to post about and get likes and get people all in a fizzy. I have no idea.
Why does anybody think she's hot?
Anyway,
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Chrissy Teigen.
Oh,
don't worry about it.
So, Sam, I want to thank you so much. I'm glad you finally get to come into town and you get to hang out with us. Sorry we had like 2 phone calls in between. But
I don't mind. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you. It's always great to
be out and about.
See you, and we're glad that you're finally going to come this side of the state of Iowa a little bit more. And we look forward to the summertime, springtime, when we get to see you more frequently. 100%. But we really appreciate the gear. We love rocking it, and we definitely support Big Grove. And for those of you out there, if you're traveling in the Iowa City area, you go to the tap room, get there in Solon as well. And when you're in your stores, look for Big Grove, shop for Big Grove. And T-Roy, keep pushing Big Grove to find some type of beer to get to the Bermuda Triangle.
Easy, Eddie.
Hey, we're going to do some events this summer, man.
Yeah.
We are going to do some events.
I got a couple ideas.
Okay.
Floating in my little brain.
You hit me with them because we're going to blow it up this summer.
Okay.
All right, well, we got to thank Alex for calling in. We got to thank Emily for calling in. Like and follow them. They both have podcasts. They're both on Twitter. Alex is also on the Locker Room app. Please go ahead and download the Locker Room app and download the ESPN 1170 AM app as well. Again, Sam, thank you so much for your time. Coral, always great as usual. And T-Roy, always a pleasure to have you in.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Good job by you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. Stay safe and sanitize.